Hello and welcome to The Corner. I'm the Frosted Glass. I'm joined by my fellow Alabaster Savages, not Jack Gunsky.
Say nigger.
Yeah.
Uh, Jack's mad because his family's race mixing. Let's and filling in for Moon tonight because he's got an anniversary is Mr. Adam.
Hello.
We got Terry Diamantis.
Hello. And I hope Adam had his nipple cut off so he fits in as a moon replacement.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Look,
It's
I'm
like-
just a stand-in, okay? So I'll just put a Band-Aid over my nipple.
That'll have to do.
It's like an Assassin's Creed where you get your ring finger cut off as initiation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna get like automatically insta banned because I said nigger in the first 15 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Possibly.
wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah,
I think you were talking about the
We've said
current
it
crisis
before
in
on the stream,
Nigeria.
It's fine.
Yes.
and this week's special guest, Prospero.
Hello.
Hi, Prospero.
It's so delightful to be among such auspicious company.
Hey.
Oh, Sun's in chat, so everybody can still say hi to her.
Hi, son. Happy
Hi, son.
anniversary, sweetie.
Hi, son. Happy anniversary. Yeah. We see
anniversary.
how it is. You know, Moon likes you better.
Yeah.
I'm
It
not
shows
mad.
He has some sense.
I'm not mad. All right.
Tragic.
So let's see. You know the whole Barbenheimer controversy that got
Yeah,
going
well,
on?
God.
Well, the whole thing about the soundtrack the subtitles or whatever to the Barbie movie or soundtrack playing over top of the Oppenheimer movie.
Hmm.
Getting it mixed up in the theater. Is that what you're talking about?
No, just
Did that happen?
whether the Barbie movie's good or not, or feminist or whatever.
Oh, okay. That. Yeah, because I think the actual existence of the Barbenheimer clone is even funnier.
Yeah, but everybody is ignoring the important part about the Oppenheimer movie. And that is,
Yes.
how do the Japs feel?
I actually saw someone on Twitter make that case. Is that they were very upset there weren't any Japanese people in the Oppenheimer movie.
Yes,
would-
of course, because that's what happens. There were, but they were like,
They were, but they were
it didn't
visible
last
from
long.
20. Yeah, they were visible from 20,000 feet.
Yeah, it's like something Shirazawa as Shadow on the Wall B.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just imagine a million grains of rice.
What does the Oppenheimer movie mean to you if you're Japanese? By Adebayo Adeniran.
A very Japanese name, if ever I heard one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and it's, well, God damn it. Here's somebody assuming rage on behalf of someone else.
Honestly, I was thinking about that too when I was seeing some people commenting, "Oh, I just saw Oppenheimer. Oh man, everybody should see this. This is a wonderful movie." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait. Talk about the guy who developed the nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
He's
fuck.
he's a
I am
brilliant
become
man.
death. Like, okay.
No, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very interesting story, the development of the bomb and the people that were
I'm
involved in it.
sure it was. And
You probably like the book. Surely you're joking, Mr. Feynman, that Richard Feynman
I
includes
think it would,
his experience.
I think it would be funny if the Oppenheimer movie actually bombed at the cinemas.
Because
I've
then
never heard that joke before.
If it
Yeah.
bombs in Tokyo.
I think Critical Drinker said in his review that he's glad it did well, just so every review wouldn't make that joke.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
man.
that.
Oh, you know what would be funny if this movie came out back in like when they had a whole bunch of those critic TV shows, and it actually bombed. Each of them would have their own unique. And this movie bombed worse than
Yeah.
Fat Boy or whatever the fuck. It's like
30 days over 30 days. Yeah, 30 days over Tokyo.
hey you.
Wasn't it 30 seconds over Tokyo? Because
That's
otherwise that's a very long bombing
it
run.
is. Yeah, it was more like 30 days in China.
Oh no.
Let's see.
30 seconds over Tokyo, 30 days in China. Yeah, it is 30
Uh,
seconds over Tokyo.
Adam, I think your toast is burning.
Huh? Are you telling him he has to
thinks
go to
you're
the
having a
bathroom?
stroke.
Just released to movie
What?
theaters. What?
Wait, what? What about my toast?
Jack's making sure you have a potty break before the stream starts.
Dude, I already took one. I didn't. I thought we all had that. And we had that song, and then we had that little pack that we said, and we are like, we all love the toaster, and that's when I went to meet the toaster.
Make
What
sure
the
you
hell? What are
shake.
you-
Make sure you shake for
burn
the
it.
person to your right.
Oh,
Just released to movie theaters. It's Christopher Nolan's summer blockbuster, Oppenheimer. The reviews thus far have been quite positive, with critics describing it as one likely to do very well at the Oscars next year. From the Western standpoint,
Well, yes. What else is there? There's nothing else.
the Flash.
There's Oppenheimer, and that's it. It's going to, if it wins Oscars, it will solely be on the basis that it had virtually no competition.
If they allowed viewer input in terms of who wins an Oscar, I think it would be funny if it was that Morbius movie.
Dude,
Also-
Morbius wins an Oscar.
biopics.
I think if the audience gets to vote, it should be Cocaine Bear.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear.
Although I've heard that's not as good as it sounded. Like it was
Yeah.
It was directed by some obnoxious woman, so
No, fair enough.
the premise was wasted.
Right.
I mean, in compared to what we're getting, and this is the sad thing, it's like we're drinking downstream of people taking a shit, and we're like, okay, well, this water was kind of good. You know,
You're not wrong.
This is the
You're
fuck?
not wrong. I mean, it's Hollywood's been producing cholera for a long time.
Also, I like in the pitch meeting for Cocaine Bear where they say the worst version of that would be Viagra Dolphin,
Yeah.
No.
which I would see.
Yes, everybody would see that. You had a parrot with shark
But
Watch it at
believe it or not,
SeaWorld.
I would not see that.
dolphins beating great whites to death with their raging wanker.
Yeah, that's what they would do. All right,
Hey,
let's
you
see.
know, a bottlenose dolphin can kill a great white. In
Mm.
case you weren't aware, they can.
Yeah, no,
And
the
this movie,
nose
they use
just goes
actual-
into the hole, and they suffocate the whale.
Oh, no.
Oh, you said great
What
white.
Great white.
Fro-
Let's talk about sharks.
From the Western standpoint, the subject of Oppenheimer is one which is
Frickin'
viewed favorably, as it was he who helped invent the atomic bomb, which did tip the odds in favor of America in its fight against the Nazis.
Oh, for the love of God!
The Nazis?
I mean, we were
Uh,
competing against the Nazis, but didn't help us against the Nazis, did it?
Hey,
did you
leave it
mean
alone,
did
he's
you
on a
mean
roll.
the Japs? Because we had a Pacific we had a Pacific campaign going on back then.
But like,
I don't know if they're aware it was a two-front war.
Hold on,
what-
was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, that's it.
No.
he's on a roll. Alright.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if they had done better in the war or something, then we'd be at risk of them getting
if
it.
people
But
if people were going to write reviews about biopics, it might help if they just at least wiki World War II.
This is a journalist we're talking about.
No, it isn't.
They're
No, it isn't.
histor-
It's somebody
wait.
who's pretending to be a journalist.
Oh wait, sorry. This is Medium. So really, they're probably more qualified than a traditional journalist.
But even then,
But you
apparently
have
they
to-
don't know how to Google.
You would have to have looked at it.
You would have
And-
to have a cursory knowledge of history.
Even
But-
though maybe. Oh wait, was there an editor? Because maybe the editor could have been
There's
like,
no
oh,
editor.
oh,
There is no
Yeah.
editor at Medium.
well, there you go.
You'd
You
have to
could let
have
somebody read it. Hey, what do you think?
It's that they wouldn't publish anything if there were an actual editor there.
Oh my goodness.
But this is the
There's an article on Medium that is literally pregnant Goku repeated like 100 times. There is no
Mhm.
You should have seen it before it was edited.
editor.
But this is the danger of the single story in Hollywood. Anyone who has seen the movies on Churchill, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and U-571 would recognize the degree to which these complex individuals at the heart of the stories were sanitized for the younger generation who knew so little about their history. Hey, U-571 U-571 had John Bon Jovi in it. I don't want you bad-mouthing it.
Okay.
Sorry, but this is
Wait,
pot
you-
kettle, so
you,
do
you
continue.
like John Bon Jovi.
I mean,
So-
I
I feel so bad for you right now.
hey,
Well, I actually
some-
feel bad for Jack because he doesn't.
yeah, some Bon Jovi's good.
He's like one of the worst things to come out of the 1980s.
oh,
And
come on.
I'm including AIDS in that.
They were one of the few good things out of the 80s. Most 80s music was garbage.
Ugh. It was awful. It was like glam
It
rock.
doesn't have any
meets
taste.
It was
shit.
like them, Van Halen, AC/DC, maybe a couple others.
Hey, yo, a lot of good punk bands came out in the 80s.
True.
Yeah.
I would rather listen to AC/DC, and they had like one song.
Yeah, but what about Van Halen, Jack?
Hey, I got no problem.
What
with
about
Van
Van Halen?
Halen. Van Halen was awesome
I don't understand why you loathe John Bon Jovi. You're just
because he
jealous.
sucks. Because he sucks.
You're jealous. You're
Jealous of what?
Okay, hold on. What are 3 of the good Bon Jovi songs? Because I don't know.
I mean,
None of
That
them.
one, that one,
my
none
memory
of them
brain
are
there.
good.
Living on a Prayer, You Give Love a Bad
Living on
Name.
a prayer stone.
Ugh.
Let's see, It's My Life.
The
Oh,
only
okay.
the only
Wanted,
band
Dead or
I hold in
Alive.
greater.
Hold on. Did those come out in the 80s?
I think It's My Life was later
didn't. I
on.
think that was later, but
The only
Wanted,
the
Living on a
only
Prayer was
band I could
80s.
think of. The only band I could think of that's worse than Bon Jovi was fucking REO Speedwagon.
Whoa.
Oh, now shut up.
Whoa.
Hey, if you're
You
gonna
don't
talk
know
like that,
dick.
if you're gonna talk like that, you could take it on the run.
Oh shit.
You born little boy.
I think I struck a nerve, fellas.
Yo, I think
REO
you.
Wagon was okay, but I mean, I'm not saying they're the greatest, but you don't know Bupkus, you child.
Well, hold on. What did REO Speedwagon do? What were some of their hits? Same question. 3
Heard
hits.
it from a friend who. Heard it from a friend.
Heard it from a
who.
friend
Heard it
who
from the friend.
take it on the run.
And a friend is a
Can't fight this
friend.
feeling. Keep on loving you.
Roll with the changes.
Ugh.
Well, okay.
Yep.
So wait.
Awful.
You said
Awful.
one, Rolling with a Friend or whatever. What was the second one?
Take it on the run.
Take It on the Run?
Can't fight this feeling. Keep on loving you.
Ugh.
See, I'd have to listen to it.
There's a lot worse
I
Drek
recognize.
out there.
Well, what do you think is worse, Prospero?
Let's see.
God,
For the 80s, there's Prince.
Well, Prince was definitely overrated. Don't make any mistake.
I've yet
I
to
don't-
hear a good
I-
Prince song.
Yeah.
Same
he,
with-
he wasn't good by any means.
same with-
I don't give a shit what Monkey thinks.
Same with Springsteen. Springsteen is a dollar store John Mellencamp.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, you know who really sucks?
Except
Appar-
Blinded by the Light is a great song, but I just prefer
I hate Blinded by the
version-
Light.
Well, I prefer the version though that Manfred Mann did.
Yeah, Man for Man. That song's great.
It's so repetitive. It's just the same thing over and over.
Oh, you don't, man. You did. I guess if you had been alive when it came out, you might have had a different impression because it stuck out from a field of And there was a lot of disco
Churchill,
around.
as we all
and then-
know, was a racist, genocidal imperialist who was very happy to gas millions of folks in the Middle
You know
East.
who really sucked? What was Neil Diamond?
Yes, of
Where you-
course he did.
What are you trying to say, Terry?
Please read
All
the
right.
goddamn article.
All right. Churchill, as we all know, was a racist, genocidal imperialist who was very happy to gas millions of folks in the Middle East, and one who had professed his love for fascists like Mussolini. But the sword.
I heard he really hated alcohol.
Yeah, he did.
He
But the
really did.
But the sordid and ugly side to the man who was voted the greatest ever Briton in 2002 was never going to make it to the screens, was it? We were never going to see Gary Oldman's Churchill describing Mahatma Gandhi in the following terms. It is alarming to see Mr. Gandhi, a seditious Middle Temple lawyer, now posing as a fakir, of a type well known in the East, striding half naked up the steps of the vice-regal palace, while he is still organizing and conducting a campaign of civil disobedience.
Well, first of all, Churchill worked for England.
That
India,
also- Like, is fakir like a really bad slur? Because otherwise this doesn't seem that bad.
yeah.
Like he's just making fun of
No.
him for walking around half naked.
Yeah.
Basically, what he's doing is a fakir is a religious ascetic who lives solely on alms. So it's a Muslim, or it's being loosely used, it's also used to describe Hindu that live only on charity. And Gandhi was a lawyer. He was not. He took on a persona in his battle against the Raj.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I
that's
saw
what
the
Churchill
movie.
is
He's-
objecting to.
He starts out like as a guy in a suit and glasses and all that stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely, he's very much a creature of the Raj,
And
then
if
and
if
then
any of
becomes the populist hero of India.
and to be very honest, if any of the stuff that I've heard about Gandhi is at all accurate, this is perhaps the least criticism you could have given of the man.
Yeah, I do understand he was not particularly kind to his wife.
I understand that he did some weird things with underage girls.
Might was.
All right. And I don't also imagine Helen Mirren's Queen Elizabeth being filmed calling her black subjects gorillas, as the late Queen was actually caught saying on camera several years ago.
Really,
I
she
like
was.
it for a reason.
But was
Yeah,
that a
okay.
really important part of her life story?
And
It's
then,
funny. I've
and then
never seen that bit of clip.
I'm imagining the biography, and then I called them gorillas because they're gorillas.
Just she tells her whole life story, it seems all nice, and then like the epilogue, by the way, fuck blacks.
Yeah.
End of book.
But bringing it back to the subject of Japanese folks in Oppenheimer, one wonders if they are as eager as everyone else to watch the latest offering from Christopher Nolan. Why I hear you ask? Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, good Lord.
D-
You know things.
Did you guys know that Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed? Wow.
Whoa. Slow down.
Did you know? Sorry.
Also, a sign of great writing is saying, "Why I hear you ask."
Mm-hmm.
It was Oppenheimer's contraption which changed the course of history during the Second World War, and it has continued to shape our world in more ways than ever.
Oh, Jesus, tap dancing crowd.
While it is
Do
pertinent,
continue.
while it is pertinent to never forget that it was Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor which pulled America officially into the Second World War, the scale of America's retaliatory response was simply off the Richter scale. Dropping
Okay, hold on. We're going to stop here. We're going to stop here, or I'm going to have a stroke.
Yeah.
You'll be able to finish the article, but I'd like to point out that a lot of shit happened in between Pearl Harbor and the dropping of the nuclear bombs. Okay, that's point one. Point two, a lot of shit happened before they even attacked us. I don't know. Does this fucking asshole know anything about the Bataan Death March? Had they ever heard of Manchuria? Had they any idea what happened in Okinawa?
The Japanese were nothing if not honorable during World War II.
Absolutely, of course they
Spud wants me to
were.
point out that
Yeah.
the Queen calling the guy a gorilla. It was a big fucking hulking white guy, U.S. ambassador to the UK, Walter Annenberg. There you go.
Yes,
Does
that's. I knew she had not used it in reference to black people. That's
Si-
just the nonsense these people do. It's the heard it from a friend who, and then they
what
go
I
with
want
it.
what I want to know is, aside from the historical illiteracy on display here, does the author think that the whole reason that that nobody going into this movie had considered the fact that people died as a result of this bomb? Nobody actually weighed any of the moral implications. We need the author to tell us people died as a result of this bomb.
Also,
Absolutely no idea the depth to which they weighed those moral implications.
yeah,
The gaming out of how many U.S. servicemen would die if we had to island fight versus what we hoped to be one bomb when the Japanese failed to surrender. And they had a demonstration, by the way, early on. There were Japanese that were aware of what the atomic bomb was and what it could do. They did not care. To understand Tojo is to understand he did not give a shit about the people of Japan.
Yeah, like
Tojo and the Emperor did not care about individual Japanese. Those were just filthy little peons living out in the field somewhere. They did the bidding of the god Emperor.
Yeah, there were probably
no, but don't you see? They invented the bomb because bombs are just fun, you know?
there would probably be more deaths on both sides if we had to go with what was it, Operation
There would have
Downfall.
easily been more deaths on both sides.
Where
it's horrific.
We actually invade the mainland of Japan.
The gaming out of the numbers was something like 2.5 million.
Yeah, and
it was very, very high death toll to the U.S. because we were going to do the bulk of that. Okay, and
also
it just. But we're not going to discuss how many fucking people were disappeared in Nanking. God damn it! There's no idea how many Chinese the Japanese murdered. No idea. They don't have a body count.
Also, didn't we drop like flyers or whatever, like telling citizens, "Hey, we're about to bomb the place. We're about to bomb the place.
Yeah, we did.
You should get the fuck out."
People didn't believe it. There was like some guy was going for business. I remember Sanguine telling the story, going for business to Hiroshima, and I don't know whether it got canceled or whatever. Boom, the bomb hit there, and then he was supposed to be in Nagasaki, and for some reason wasn't.
Well, Nagasaki,
and then it got hit.
Nagasaki was, for the second bombing, Nagasaki I think was choice B, like the first one they couldn't do because there was like bad weather.
Yes.
So basically that city lucked out.
The Japanese did not surrender until Nagasaki was bombed. This business of, they were going to surrender. Please quit rewriting history. For the love of God, when you even hear a report from somebody who could see what had happened to Hiroshima.
If there's one thing I know there's one thing I know about World War II Japanese people is that they were fine with surrendering to the enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, they absolutely were not. We learned that on Tarawa.
They were just dying to surrender, Frosted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was unbelievable. It absolutely was. Yeah, Evolved Potato, I do know. Tojo was the prime minister and Hirohito was the emperor. Tojo was doing the bidding of the emperor, in this revisionist history that Hirohito didn't know what was going on. That's bullshit. Those science experiments done on people in Manchuria, that was one of Hirohito's pet projects.
Let's see. The scale of America's retaliatory response was simply off the Richter scale, dropping nuclear bombs which killed Japanese people in huge numbers.
Fucking idiot.
And when we also
People
factor in
died, Frosted.
and when we also factor in the treatment of Japanese Americans during the war, when they were placed in internment camps by their own government, I don't imagine that descendants of those interned or those who perished in the bombing campaign will be falling over themselves to watch the movie at the cinemas.
I imagine they may not, but at the same time, they might. I don't know. Let's ask George Takei, because he seems married to the party that interred his family. Since he's such a little Democrat operative, the internment of Japanese Americans was deemed to be unconstitutional. It just took too fucking long. And of course, we'd all remember FDR as a fascist, but he had good competition. Those are two separate matters, oddly enough.
What's with like the first half of the 1900s? It's just full of the fucking worst people imaginable.
Except for Calvin Coolidge.
Well, also the second half.
Yeah, the second half's had its share.
When
But
you
the
had
first
like,
half
but
really,
when
really
you had
was an
like,
incubator for a lot of them.
I mean,
It
when
was
you had
like
like
the-
Stalin and Mao, and they
Yeah,
killed
yeah.
way
Hey,
more.
let's not forget people that bail on streams because of some silly anniversary. Those are even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
But remember,
But, like-
Stalin predates the second half of the century. He
Hold on.
dies at
So,
mid-century.
do you want the real answer? Because it'll take some time, but I'll fetch out my tinfoil hat and I will give you the answer of 1900 on up. Actually, it starts in mid 1800s. But
Eh.
yeah, we'll play along. I give you a simple answer, a little cliff notes. You want to do that? Can't do that because we're on Frost's show.
Is it chemicals in the water that turn the Asians evil?
Brodsky? Yeah.
You should keep on reading.
But if you're white, British, or American, chances are that you will not be perturbed by the creation of a weapon which led to the deaths of very many people, so long as your government justifies the killings as necessary.
Miserable racist cunt.
You know when deaths are necessary? When you're at war.
Sadly.
They could drop a bomb on America, and this person would apologize to the person who dropped the bomb.
Yes.
I'm not even joking. I think that would actually happen.
If they were dropping the bomb, they would write "I'm sorry" on the bomb.
I mean, that's if Canada bombed us.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
No,
like-
that sounds
like-
sorry.
If Malaysia bombed America tomorrow, this author would have an article why we should forgive Malaysia.
Hey, my laptop was built there. It is, however, a different proposition if these weapons are in the hands of those deemed a threat by America and Britain, Iran, Russia, North Korea, China, or any African country. What African country is a threat to us?
Which one has
Wakanda.
nuclear weapons is what I want to know.
When
Wakanda,
have we?
Frosted. Wakanda.
Yeah, when have we ever been in an arms race with some African country? And this is why, precisely, movies like Oppenheimer are a complete waste of time and insult, not just to the descendants of the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but to the rest of the world. It is also...
So your argument is that a bad historical, what you perceive as a bad historical event happened. Well, obviously, the creation of the bomb, you could argue, is, but just because it's bad, no one should talk about it ever.
Well, also, here's an interesting point. We took the toy out of the box and we played with it twice.
Yeah.
We never played with it again.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? If we were so goddamned evil, why don't you think we would have just turned, I don't know, North
Russia.
Vietnam into a giant smoking crater?
So, at any point during the
Sorry?
Oppenheimer movie, did they say someone
I
set
know.
us up the bomb?
I know
Because if
who-
they do, I'll watch it.
Thank you. I was reminded that it was Harlan Ellison who
Oh.
pointed out that
Someone sent us up the bomb.
Yeah, but I
Very
mean,
easy.
there
Very
are a lot of
dishonorable.
enemies that we could have used this on.
Yeah, like we could
And
have
we
kept
did
going
not.
with Japan, and the world would be a better place.
We could have gotten rid of Hanoi. I mean, seriously. But we
Uh,
didn't. We could have
I-
gotten rid of
like pretty much the
Pyongyang.
whole Eastern Hemisphere, I think we could do without.
Can I just say, Japan has fucking cleaned up their act like nobody else.
Now they
Because
still
they
have.
start the
Well-
century. They start the century as like the bad. They start as the baddies, and then second half of the century they turn into like the most awesome people around.
They still have
Well,
hentai
they-
and anime. We need to wipe them out.
Yeah, being consumed by neckbeards in their mom's basement. Don't
Look,
forget
they're finding
that.
an audience. And
There's a
people are
market
paying.
over here for that.
Yeah, the spice is flowing. Ew,
And
so
excuse me, Prospero, I resemble that remark.
you resemble what
Well,
remark?
I'm stunned.
Uh-oh.
It is also simply a very painful reminder of the Frankenstein monster which America has unleashed upon humanity with extraordinary consequences.
God,
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
she ends up wherever the Rosenbergs ended up.
I mean,
Whatever
if we
circle of hell that was.
didn't make the atomic bomb, someone else would have.
No shit. Hitler was. If it hadn't been for people spiking his guns and the Norwegians being really clever, that fucker would have gotten it before we did.
Hold on,
It-
hold on, hold on,
it would-
hold on. The movie's called Oppenheimer. Where did, if we didn't get the bomb, somebody else would have. Mm-hmm.
That-
Hmm.
I don't get your point.
We took with the Germans, dude.
Oh,
They were
alright.
working on it too.
Yeah, and if it wasn't
Yes.
the Germans, it would have been the Soviets who got it first.
No, we gave them a lot of help.
Well, yeah.
Well, with
Yeah.
they were
Spies.
they
They-
really weren't during that time period. They would have stolen it.
Yeah, they
Um,
stole it, but they probably would have gotten it eventually.
It was the hydrogen, the plans for the hydrogen bomb, basically, that
Hmm.
the Rosenbergs gave to them. Yay. But
Yeah.
mutually assured destruction is a thing, and it keeps adults from hitting buttons.
Don't
A child like this would have, like, suitcase nuked the queen because she thought that she called black people gorillas. Or he, or whomever wrote this article. I don't know. This deluded cunt, you know.
But the point is, if you see Oppenheimer, you don't like the Japs.
Oh, so I've definitely got to see it then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I want to see it. No spoilers. All right. So on to
Funny story. Q Continue mentions Operation Paperclip. Reminds me, probably my favorite Twitter interaction ever was you know that monkey meme where the monkey is looking forward and then looks to the side awkwardly. Basically, it was that, but it was someone talking about how they would refuse to support. They would only support NASA now because they didn't want to work or they didn't want to support a company run by Elon Musk that also supports Nazis.
Yeah.
And someone in the chat was like, I don't get the joke. What's the joke? And I said, look up Operation Paperclip. And the next response is, fuck!
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
missed
Tom,
what company was it that supports
Operation
the
Paper.
Nazis?
Operation
Elon Musk.
Paperclip was getting that annoying assistant
Oh.
out of Microsoft Word.
Yes.
Tom Lear told us about Werner von Braun.
Yeah, and he got sued for that one.
What? He
What?
got sued for that?
He was sued for the song about Werner von Braun by Werner von Braun's family.
Wait, BG, are you telling me that there's nudity in this movie? Because if so, I'm definitely want to see it. All right.
Dude,
So-
how's there nudity in? Okay, never mind.
Oh, the nuke blew off my blouse. Help me,
It
stepbrother.
blew off my blouse and then my skin.
Help me,
How did it
stepbrother.
become like a 1950s porno? Woohoo! My skirt lifted up me. Beyond my knees.
I'm
Beyond my
stuck
knees.
under the pile of plutonium. Help me, stepbrother.
Oh.
Nana needs a cigarette now. I'll be back in a moment.
Oh, God.
Gapenheimer.
Dude, hey, you see what you did to Prospero? Woo!
I'm excited.
All right. So now with the end of the first article comes the first game, which is Sadlib's Double Prompt Edition,
Oh shit!
where
Do I
I
need to
take
install some?
No, you don't have to install anything. Where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out 2 words, and you guys fill in those words Madlib style. Then the chat will vote on which one is best. All right. So Jack, I need a person.
I gotta go with the classic Stacey Abrams.
Okay. He's got like 3 answers that he rotates between.
I like how you say it
Well,
like
she
you're.
is the funniest person.
I
and
like how you
not
say
in a
it.
way-
You say it like a Family Feud contestant. Show me Stacey Abrams.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right, Mr. Adam, I need an adjective.
Oh man.
Word that
Stacey
describes
Abrams.
something. It doesn't have to.
Stacy.
No, it's not related to Stacey Abrams. Just any adjective.
Oh, okay. Shit, yo, yeah, that because I was like, ah, man, give me Stacey Abrams. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
James Colley has an excellent recommendation.
If it was related to Stacey Abrams, it would fit.
Okay, well, I shall take a cue from the audience. Chunky.
Oh, God.
It's like
Thank
a
you, James
freaking.
Coley.
It's like a freaking virus. All right, Terry, I need a location.
I suppose I've got to go Nagasaki.
Dude, World War II blaxploitation flick, Nagasaki. All right, and Prospero, are you back?
You're muted, Prospero.
Well, she might not
If
be
you
back
are
yet.
back. She might not be.
Oh.
All right, well,
Well,
we'll
what
get
do
back.
we do now?
But we'll get back to her, and we'll do the second things. All right, let's see. Adam, now. Terry, give me an adjective.
Good,
Slippery.
good choice.
Would you say slippery?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
Prospero, are you back?
Yes.
Okay. Prospero, give me an adjective.
Squishy.
Trying to summon Satsu and his
All
wife.
right. And let's see. Man, there are 2 of you I can't give adjective to. All right. Prospero, give me an adjective.
Another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have supposed
Plural.
to have given 2. Oh.
Plural?
Puerile.
Oh, puerile?
Puerile.
What does that mean again?
Childish.
Oh, all right. Let's see.
I don't think
P-U-E-R-I-L-E.
Prospero understands how this game works.
Yeah, no, and I'm doing it deliberately to annoy you. It's
Jack, give me a person.
P-U-E-R-I-L-E.
A person? How about John Bon Jovi?
Dude.
Dude.
I'm doing it deliberately to annoy you.
It's driving me crazy that Purile's misspelled, by the way.
Oh, I don't know how to spell it. How's it spelled?
P-U-E-R-I-L-E.
Purell, like that hand sanitizer.
Yes, that's it. That's it, Adam.
Oh,
Purina.
Living on a prayer.
All right.
What's
And
up, Johnny?
Adam, give me a person.
Um. Herbert Hoover. That's a person, right?
Yes, of course it is. He was president of the United States.
Oh, right. I knew that.
All right.
The Boulder Dam, Hoover Dam.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Jax is how Stacey Abrams ended up lost and then slippery in the dark woods.
Oh God!
No.
I don't want to know what happened. All right. And Adams, chunky but deadly. Puerile men's silent health epidemic.
That unfortunately works.
All right. And
How does
Terry's
that work?
how growing up in Nagasaki made me different from John Bon Jovi. All right. And Prospero's I am not squishy is the most racist thing Herbert Hoover can say.
Yeah.
All right. And give me a sec to start a poll, so check out vote on which one is best.
Damn. I should have gone with Woodrow Wilson.
Yes.
That was my first thought, but then I was like, nah, go for it. I was
Since we know he said a lot more racist things than that.
I'd have to go with Terry.
Yeah, I would say it's probably
Yes.
either me or Terry, but mine's a little bit too on the nose.
Yeah.
dude, I don't even know what's going on.
And looks like Terry's in the lead. It's 65, 63%. Nope. Jack's gaining on him.
Rigged.
Yeah, we just got a van full of ballots.
Whoa.
Was
and
it
they
Mark's
came up
sympathy fuck?
in a little red wagon.
Also,
Excuse me, if there were no sympathy fucks, my people would never reproduce.
Hold on, why are they covering up those windows? Get out of here with that. Don't tell me nothing.
Also, we have 35 viewers, but only 23 likes.
Yeah, so hit that like button, you dumb fucks.
I wonder
Yeah,
why I always have one more like on my screen than Frosted does.
That
I
Like,
have
I've got
24.
exchange
Yeah, I
rate.
have 24 also.
24.
Did you forget to like your own stream, Frosted?
I don't know.
Frosted, you like your own streams?
I wouldn't
That
watch.
is whorish, sir.
I wouldn't watch.
You're a
this shit.
whore.
Dude.
Yes. He just inflicts it on other people.
See, I'm lucky enough to host it on Minions, and then I can like it on my own
Yep.
channel. So I get away with it.
All right.
But you, sir.
I wouldn't ever like my own stream if I made one.
All right. So I
The
think
same way I don't like my own tweets. It seems silly.
I don't like my own tweets, but I like my streams.
I think when you host on behalf of a group of people, though, you do.
Sure, but if I did a stream on my own channel, I wouldn't like the stream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the
Alright.
same thing as, yeah, I see what you mean, liking your own tweet or liking your own Facebook post or
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like that, which is,
It's-
yeah, it is.
It's
That's kind of,
tacky.
I think I'll end it there. So Terry wins
Oh,
with
no.
48%.
Woo!
Rigged.
How
No,
dare
no,
you?
Jack didn't win. It's okay.
I mean, technically, I did provide one of the answers.
Sure.
That is true.
You did very good, Jack. We'll put that word on the fridge.
You fucker.
yeah, it's kind of unfair that I ended up with 2 adjectives because I ruined Adams. Adams could have been better.
Yeah, if it was spelt right the first time.
It is now.
I mean, yeah.
He corrected the spelling.
You know what? If that information was provided earlier, the vote might have been different. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Look. People are saying that things might have been different.
Yeah, it's Frosted's fault. Get him.
Yeah, Frosted.
All right.
No.
Why am I up by 50 points? Jack Gonski, 2023.
And now time for our second article. The fight against book bans takes a turn. Ta-Nehisi Coates quietly steps into the battle.
I hate
Quietly? Has he ever done anything quietly in his life?
that.
Everything he does blackly. That's his big thing.
No kidding.
I'm so tired of the fucking grifters. There are just so many fucking grifters, and they know exactly like the pressure points to hit to get a reaction from people.
Well, yeah,
It
of
makes me
course.
sick.
That's their job, is
Yeah.
to piss people off and make money out of it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
go away if you
I
give
piss
me
people
money.
off and I don't make a cent.
Well, hey, hold on.
They're shakedown
This is the
artists.
same kind of thing. Like this just reminds me of the argument of the OnlyFans peoples, where they're saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe these people are doing these things and they're making money off of them." And it's like, okay, well, and then you look at, well, who's paying for it? Well, it's the same
Yes.
thing with this shit. It's like who's watching, who's paying for this shit.
Yeah, it's the
You know,
people that bought the
but-
tickets from Barnum, man.
Hey, if they want to go and pay to see the circus, that's their money.
It is.
You really can't do anything about it because that's what these
Well-
monkeys are doing.
Well, hold
Oh,
on
careful.
now.
Oh, you just said
Whoa.
monkey.
Whoa, oh no, oh
Oh.
no. Whoa.
Somehow Adam is the most
Bring it
racist
in.
person on the stream.
Yeah.
No, but I was just thinking the other day. I was watching one of Bering's videos where he makes fun of the comedian woman who's on
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah, I saw that
news
one.
show or whatever. Yeah, and all I
Snowflake.
could think was, who the fuck would pay to see her live? You
Yeah.
can't
Yes.
possibly get an audience being that deliberately unfunny.
But like
Like,
You
even
talking
the
about the one Bering showed?
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
like
it's not even like Hannah Gadsby, who's not trying to be funny. She's just unfunny, and for some reason is called a
Kate
comedian.
Smurthwaite is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was, Kate, whatever her name, was trying to be funny and
Smurfs,
wasn't. And wasn't. How on earth does she make a living?
even
And
the
Dude,
people.
the only
somebody's
thing-
paying them.
The only thing I can think of is that she's not actually making a living off of paying tickets, but like sponsored DEI events, wherein
Yeah.
you're not really supposed to be funny. You're supposed to be there and tick boxes.
Or it's free drinks and you have to sit through this for the
Yeah.
filming.
Even the people there who were on her side, the best they could do was like a polite smile at her jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't
isn't I just love her.
My favorite Kate Smurthwaite thing was she was on some talk show with what's his name? He goes by Suffragant. Anyway, he goes sticks and stones may break my bones, but there will always be something to offend a feminist. And then
Yes.
like she freaks the fuck out and starts like, no, that's so immature. I'm not going to come back unless you give me a chance to address
Proving
it.
his
And then-
point.
And then they play the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Yes.
Well, hold on. Okay, so assuming that's the
I
case,
love that, Terry.
if they're gonna fill the room, so to speak, and they do that a lot of times, they'll bring in people just to film if they're gonna film a special.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're doing that, why? If it's not catching on with the actual general public, it's like this really is that
It's
gotta be
virtue
like
signaling.
propaganda shit.
It is.
The
It's
fuck?
propaganda, and it's also the virtue. Look, I've got the feminist comedian on stage tonight. Isn't that going to appeal to all you hipsters? Do come in.
It's like
They
the
say,
hipsters
as the
aren't even
hipsters
watching.
walk
it.
away.
What the
I know. It's like whatever possessed
No, but she has a
Bud Light to
very
do what
big
they
following,
did
so-
because
oh.
you have a brand new little marketing person that thinks, won't it be cool if we appeal to this like super large percentage of the population by doing this cool one-off thing for Dylan Mulvaney. It's not like we're going to ship him out to people or anything, but Dylan can like promote it. And won't that be cool? And won't they get a lot of new, young, hip Bud Light drinkers? Well, we all see what that happened.
All right,
You know, number one, the hipsters aren't going to be drinking Bud Light. There are too many microbrews. That's what they're drinking, if they're drinking beer.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, the celebrated writer and journalist, recently traveled to South Carolina to enter the cultural wars being waged by conservatives all over the country regarding books about African American history and culture. Full disclosure, Coates
History in quotes.
Full disclosure, Coates and I have been good friends for 25 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Coates came to the state to support high school AP language teacher Mary Wood. I was very impressed by my friend's actions. I sent him a note when I found out. Good show, bruh, I texted.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
And he
Like
sent a
chasing
message
twat.
back.
Who's this?
Who are you?
Yeah,
Yeah. He gave it a heart emoji. The respect was all his.
And everyone clapped.
And then I jerked off to that emoji all night.
No kidding. I mean, this is like tragic. Dear Diary.
Coates sat beside Ms. Wood in a school district meeting where she is a teacher. Parents from the district also came to the forum and spoke up for Ms. Wood. They expressed their support for Ms. Wood and all teachers. They felt that it was time to answer the hysterical nonsense. Everyone does not agree with banning books.
Oh my God, they're not even being banned. These
I
people don't
suspect-
even know the meaning of banning.
I suspect a lot of people are in favor of free speech and thought and education.
Not you lot.
I
Wood and-
have a rule where if I don't think that a person lives by the argument they're making, then I disregard it altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how valid it might sound. If they're being disingenuous, they deserve to be ignored.
Absolutely. And this individual is a disingenuous fuck. Number one, they're misrepresenting what removing books from school curriculum means. That's not banning. Nobody's stopping the kid from going to the public library and checking out the book.
Wood and other teachers around the country are in the crosshairs of the current attempts by conservative governors and legislatures nationwide to ban books.
Mm.
Many of the
Right.
books are written by or about African Americans.
Good Christ.
Coates' Between the World and Me, a National Book Award winner for nonfiction, is
Ah!
banned. Yeah, from what organization, I wonder?
Oh, the National
Non-fiction in
Book-
quotes.
Yeah, National Book Award, because they didn't want to get shaken down by Coates and that Sharpton Jackson second wave, second gen. It's like this is like third generation now. It's a little bit like feminism, where the shakedown artists, the Rainbow Coalition crowd.
When I go to like a not a library or Barnes and Noble, and I see there's a section Black writers, I immediately just ignore that section altogether. And it's not because they're black and for some reason that might make them incapable of writing a good book, but it's much the same way I'm against what's that thing that was just struck down in the Supreme Court about race quotas? Affirmative action. Affirmative action. It's the same principle. You're not
Labeling.
relying on the best candidate for the job anymore. You're not relying on the best writer. You're relying on the color of their skin to carry them.
It isn't even that. They're segregating the books.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
How
doing
about
it with,
just
they're
why
doing
don't
it
you
with
just
like all,
yeah,
they're
they
doing
do.
it with, they're doing it with like all media, where it's like YouTube is like,
Yes.
hey, check out this content by diverse, creators. or,
Yes.
support black-owned businesses and
They're the new segregationalists. And it's really revolting because instead of just what they're basically indicating is Only black people are going to want to read these, or really good white people, who need to virtue signal.
Allies.
And of course, they have to stick people's faces on articles, not just their names anymore, to make sure you can see what the person looks like, so you know you're doing a really good thing. Instead of just putting all those books in the categories that they belong and letting people, I mean, can you imagine asking Shelby Steele if he wants his books in the blacks who happen to be historians section?
Oh, I
It's
don't know
it's
who
the
he is.
ultimate insult.
You don't know
really,
who Shelby
because
Steele is? That's kind of a shame.
It's the ultimate insult, really.
It's revolting. You can't make it on your own, buddy. You need the
Yeah.
help from us good Whitey McWhite faces to give you that leg up, because after all, you're probably really not doing
Whoa!
that. The fuck was that?
He just did all the
Adam is
exhaling.
having a moment.
Oh
What?
wow, I'm so sorry. I
That's
apologize.
okay. That was pretty awesome.
Whitey,
that was
Big wind blew
that
in
was
from
a-
Winnetka or something.
team kill. That's my
Whitey
bad.
McWhiteface, you knew my dad?
Yeah.
I played the ceremonial death whistle that you would play in times of these great morning, not in the morning, but a morning
Yes.
events.
Morning with a U.
Yes, morning with a U, because we are with you. Because we are morning.
I think with a U should be the English spelling, and Americans should stick
Well,
to without.
Well, no, because if that includes the hue, and you know what, we're gonna have to start a war again, and I don't want that. But yes, I apologize. Salame, salame, bologna.
All right. Let's see. Between the World
Good
and
job,
Me, a National
baby.
Book Award winner for nonfiction, is banned in some school districts. It is time to
Banned.
push. It is time to push back on the ignorance. Ms. Wood assigned Coates' book and showed the students videos discussing systemic racism. She wanted them to identify some themes in the book. She wanted them to be critical thinkers. That's when the district.
You mean
No,
critical
absolutely,
race
she did
thinkers.
not. Yes.
That's when the district shut down her lesson and use of the book. Kudos to Ms. Woods, apparently her name changed, for trying.
No,
America-
kudos to the school district for keeping their eye on the ball.
America needs more Ms. Woods.
It absolutely does not. It has far too many already, and it is ruining this country.
No, it's comma Ms. Woods. So apparently he's asking for more from Ms. Woods. So Ms. Wood, get on the ball. All right. Educate the children to be critical thinkers, not robots. We are trying to raise
theory is the opposite of critical thinking.
We are trying to raise good citizens, I like to say, not obedient animals.
Oh, bullshit. That demands obedience. That demands that you acknowledge what your lying eyes are telling you doesn't exist. It's nonsense.
I mean, if Ms. Wood was like, okay, you can point out the bullshit in this book too, but I highly doubt that she was doing that.
This is just
according to
fanfic.
I mean, I had to deal with the same shit. People seem to pretend as though this thing with the schools is a recent phenomenon. It is not. Critical theory has been around schools for ages and ages. When I was in high school, I had to read Howard Zinn in my
you poor bastard.
I know.
I got assigned
Fucker is dead now. Good riddance.
I got assigned a Noam Chomsky book in college.
It wasn't on language, was it? If
it
it was on language,
it was manufacturing content or consent.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because Noam Chomsky really was, quite good on Ling Lang, language and linguistics. I mean, and he used to be a tremendous free speech advocate. He still gets smacked around by his own ilk. I mean, I know he's an old commie, but he was an old commie who believed in freedom of speech. It was kind of perverse.
Yeah.
That seems a bit of a contradiction.
Yeah,
He is a bit of a contradiction. Noam is kind of your typical New York liberal commie.
Yeah,
where
you can't be a legitimate free speech advocate and advocate for communism.
It's cognitive dissonance all the way down the line. But he has stood up for people's right to speak.
Well, that's good at least.
It's like how Vaush describes himself as a libertarian socialist.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Or
libertarian socialist.
Or anarcho-communism, because you
Oh,
can have
those are my
communism-
favorite.
Because
I
you can have
actually
communism without a government.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I like the anarcho-capitalist too, because it's like
I mean, I don't think either one would work, but anarcho-capitalist at least makes sense because
it does make sense. It actually
because
it
you can
makes
trade
perfect
without
sense.
you can trade
In a
with other
perfect
people
world.
without a government.
Yes, but if you don't have any authority whatsoever, all
Yeah.
your shit's going to be taken from you.
Yeah, like it wouldn't work. I'm just saying it's more realistic.
They love the anarcho-capitalist types. Love to point at the magistrate system that Ireland had in like the 11th century.
What's
Talking
that?
about, it's kind of like it was like a rotating magistrate in a village would oversee disputes, and it was really limited government. But see, there was some form of governance. The very existence of that magistrate kind of removes that anarcho part, doesn't it? And kind of Iceland was that way. Yeah, it's like then they codified a constitution.
And there are like 50 people in Iceland?
Yeah, well, they're significantly more than that, but yeah, I know what you mean. And in a commune, maybe, if you've got
If you have
50
enough
people.
social pressure to do well, i.e., if you're next to like 3 other people and they're all watching you to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to.
Yes.
But if you have that social pressure dispersed over the population of an entire country, it's just not there at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some discussion. I heard Russell Brand mention it when he was talking to Tucker Carlson, that maybe the concept of a constitutional republic with 330 million people is undoable.
Well, I mean, the remedy should be more states, but apparently we're afraid of that.
Well, yeah, it's just the genuine diversity of the melting pot it's difficult to maintain a kind of heterogeneous viewpoint of governance and leadership and that kind of stuff. Or homogenous,
I think you need fewer states, and you should start by getting rid of California.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's this notion of like maybe the United States would function better as 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe independent small nation states.
And anyway, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah, well, we're really hoping that Frosted will fall asleep and forget he was reading this.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
According to news accounts, students allegedly complained that Coates' book made them feel guilty for being a white person. I don't know why white is in quotes. Nonsense. Some adults likely told them how they felt. This is precisely
probably
the teacher.
the people teaching your bullshit ideology.
Projection much, yeah. This is precisely the kind of absurd nonsense that these book bans by right-wing lawmakers are trying to perpetuate. It does not sound authentic. It sounds like a baseless conservative talking point. Wood
Okay,
taught the
okay. I'm so sick. This is such bullshit gaslighting. The entire point of critical race theory is to demonize white people. How on earth can you honestly argue that? How can you term a coin like white privilege and then say black privilege doesn't exist and not expect a white person to feel guilty over that?
I believe Karlin Borisenko, of all people, believes that it is not anti-white; it is just racist.
Yeah, she
Like-
kind of lost her fucking mind.
Yes, she did.
She doesn't. Here's the thing: you could probably make that argument that she's making. The failure is she doesn't seem to be able to make it coherently.
No.
And that's, I mean, the fact that critical race theory is racist is abundantly clear in the name.
Yes.
I mean, the whole systemic racism idea inherently revolves around America being a white supremacist nation.
Yeah.
So
Obviously,
did the 1619 Project.
so obviously it paints white people as bad guys.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really the intent, is kind of what Carlin keeps saying. And it's like, stop it.
Whether or not it's the intent,
It's the takeaway.
reality.
It's the takeaway that people I'm sorry that you can't convince them somehow or another the fact that they're being called on the carpet repeatedly by the exclamations of these individuals. They're not unreasonable in assuming that it is deliberately aimed at them. Whether it is or isn't, it's just so poorly presented. Is that what you're saying? Bullshit. I mean, I find I tried to understand and see if I couldn't come up with a more cogent and coherent way of expressing her point of view on this. But it comes off sounding like apologia on her part. She's apologizing for them, singling out white people all the time.
Wood taught the book last year, and there were no issues or complaints. After the book was banned by the school district this year, Wood wrote the following. To prevent conversations about experiences which exist outside of heterosexual Caucasian norms is both biased and discriminatory, and completely antithetical to the development of critical thinking and civil discourse, which is the entire point of an AP Lang course.
Okay.
Why is it that critical thinking always cuts in the exact same direction whenever these people talk about it?
But what was she talking about? White heteronormative blah blah. We're talking about a book that Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote that's nonfiction. So,
I think of critical thinking as thinking that breaks traditional molds. But for all I can see, the critical thinking these people. The critical thinking these people teach always cuts in the exact same direction.
Taxonomically speaking, critical thinking is what you achieve when you progress through the taxonomy of learning, where it takes you up to going past knowledge and application and getting into analysis and synthesis. And
well, yes, but the whole purpose is that you are using methodology in order to break what would otherwise be you doing things uncritically.
Well, that you would just be
which to me would be
applying information fed to you as if you were a machine.
Yes.
Rather than making judgments on whether that knowledge appears valid or how it measures up against.
The point being that in order to break in order to escape that sort of thinking, you need to break traditional thinking.
Well, not necessarily. Because I think I think traditional, if you're talking about years and years and years of what the goal of education was, it was to achieve critical thinking.
Well, it's the whole, they're acting like they say critical thinking, which you would think means, questioning things, but it's as long as you stick to this belief system.
That's
It's-
it. It's rote
it-
memorization.
It's basically how the Goths are presented in South Park. Like
Mhm.
if you
Yes,
want to
exactly.
if you want to be a nonconformist, you have to dress and act exactly like us.
Correct. There's only one form of nonconformity. There's only one form of rebellion. There's only one. Yeah, in that regard, I think it's more breaking simplistic thinking, Jack. I guess I get your point. Traditional thinking, where it's like NPC thinking.
Yeah.
Um, too much is robotically fed into people, and what teachers have done in abrogating their responsibility toward their students, and what states have done, and what the federal government has done with No Child Left Behind and standards of learning in Virginia and other bullshit like that, is this one size fits all educational model that does not get anywhere past knowledge application, which is why you can stir up a mob. They have enough knowledge about the subject that they've been fed to them through a single pipeline with absolutely no opposing view. So at no point have they ever had to analyze anything and then possibly synthesize a separate opinion. And then you put them in motion with it. Application, go riot. And they do it.
It is biased and discriminatory. It is an attempt to preserve a white male supremacist status quo.
Oh,
Another
fuck.
writer, Ibram X. Kendi,
You just-
how did I know his name would get mentioned?
You're just batting 1,000, aren't you, author?
who also
Hey,
had a
I'm still happy that I got blocked on Twitter by Ibram X. Kendi for calling him a murderer.
Congratulations, Terry.
Well done.
Well, I mean, I've said it before, but he was making the point that denial of racism is proof of racism. So I said, "Have you murdered anyone?" He's like, "Are you going to deny it?" It's like, so clearly he's a murderer. He's either not
Yeah,
willing
it's
to answer the question or he's going to deny it.
Yeah, it was
I
a
just-
totally nonsensical argument that he was making.
I just like that he's such a big Elon Musk fan. He made X his middle name.
That's a good point.
Let's see. Another writer, Ibram X. Kendi, who also had a book banned, wrote of the bans recently that the first step to building an anti-racist America is acknowledging America's racist past. By acknowledging America's racist past, we can acknowledge America's racist present. In acknowledging America's racist present, we can work toward building an anti-racist America.
I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm just saying that you're a racist inherently because of the color of your skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's past his prologue. Therefore, because we had a racist past, we are in a racist present because you haven't done all the things that I insist that you do. Because now I'm here, and I am here to tell you that all those people that went before you, whose lives actually ended up being sacrificed for the cause, people like Martin Luther King or Medgar Evers, were just like low rent motherfuckers. They're not as important as I am. I'm here to lead you to the promised land. Get fucked, Abraham.
This
You know the worst thing about Musk changing the thing to X, I can't get around blocks by going into private window anymore because it just tells you to log in. Like you can't see anything without being logged in anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
So
you can't.
that was my workaround for like when some idiot blocked me and I wanted to see what they were saying, but now I can't do it anymore.
I don't really get blocked often somehow.
Yeah.
No, it's because you're
Actually,
you're
I got
ineffective on Twitter.
No, I got blocked by one of those accounts that posts funny cat pictures. I don't know how or why, but Six posted a funny cat picture and I was blocked by the account that posted it.
Oh, they're running a block bot based on somebody else. They follow somebody and they're running a block bot.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I was like,
Yeah,
how
should've
weird
said,
is that? Like,
it is weird because it's a funny cat picture.
You should have said
Yeah.
it's okay. I'm not Chinese.
well, they wouldn't have seen it if I'm blocked.
Yeah, Shive's bot. Yeah, you're right, Faithless. That's really should be the actual official name.
Yes.
It would be nice if Elon would adopt it, but then we'd have to explain Steve Shives
Steve
to
Shives
him,
is.
and that's not exactly fair. The man's a little busy. One thing I do love about Twitter is going to Elon Musk's account, going to his account and reading his replies. Because there are just times that I'm like, You
the funny thing about
barely have
Ibram
an
X. Kendi,
editor.
like the funny thing about Ibram X. Kendi is his real name is something like Henry Rogers.
Of course it is. And the X is
Oh.
there to evoke Malcolm. Isn't
Yes.
that
Oh, man.
important, you know?
Now whenever I reply to him, I'm gonna put like a gif of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. You'll probably then get
Get
blocked
blocked?
by him.
Yeah.
The worst I've
It's a
gotten,
beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it, Henry?
the worst I've gotten was a 12-hour suspension for a response to what's that bitch from Beaches?
Brett Midler.
Brett Midler,
Yeah, Bette Midler.
Brett Bidler,
Brett
whatever.
Midler.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I managed to overturn 2 of my my like naughty corners with the new Twitter, like under Elon's management, where it gives you the option to appeal. And I was like, sure, let's just see what happens. And actually, they actually agreed that I wasn't being like offensive or racist or whatever, and restored me. So it was good.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter's not perfect under Musk, but it's definitely better.
It's much better.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. This is what the right-wing politicians do not want. They don't wish for the national dialogue to occur. They don't want people, children mainly, to talk to each other freely. They want them divided and barking at each other.
Oh yeah,
me.
you totally won all those things. Fucking asshole.
Unlike us, who divide everything into black and white.
This
Yes.
guy has more projection screens than a goddamn multiplex. It's awesome.
But the truth is out there. African Americans, particularly those who are writers, are sharing their absolute truth. Between the World and Me by Coates, The 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah-Jones, and Faces at the Bottom of the Well by Derek Bell. These books by black writers...
You just believe anything you hear so long as it fits your ideal worldview, don't you?
Hey, it says absolute truth, Jack.
I half
everything-
expect to hear someone go, "That's right!"
Everything
No,
in
but
these
it
is
says-
true.
No. It is their absolute truth. So it's like they
Yeah,
own the truth.
Yeah, their truth is even better than the truth.
Yes, exactly.
All right, and Faces at the Bottom of the Well by Derek Bell. Is that the book that The Ring is based on? These books by black writers have the potential to liberate the entire country if we expose our young people to America's full story. Lawsuits are being filed as I write these words. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is the law. Coates was correct to let it be known where he stood when he came to the meeting. Ms. Wood is correct as well and courageous, also stunning and brave. If the chance to stand with openness, free speech, and free thinking comes to your local school board, go down there and support the teachers and a more open education free of bias. Free of bias. Do not let conservative book banners hog the microphones and spread hate and prejudice. Let them know. So if we want education free of bias, we need Ta-Nehisi Coates and Ibram X. Kendi.
Obviously.
Yeah. If we want free speech, then you better get in line with your thinking, buddy.
We have thinking buddies?
All
All right.
Well, you know, there's drinking buddies, there's thinking buddies.
All right. And now on to a second game, which is for the chat only. Jack.
Well, and not Jack.
Excuse me, I am not Jack. Thank you very much.
I didn't mean to dead name you. All right.
Yeah.
And that is the caption contest, where I'll
The
show
artist
you
formerly known as Jack.
a photo of a political figure or event, and the chat has to come up with a caption for it, and whichever one we like best, I'll tweet out after the show. So this week we have probably the greatest hero who made the biggest sacrifice in the last century at least.
Oh god, this could be a million people.
And that is this representative who went 8 hours without food or water.
Very impressive.
Well done. 8 full hours. Did you take a nap halfway through?
To protest, what was it, like a law on breaks or something for workers, which was misrepresented. And here he is finally having his drink. And if you watch the video, the applause is so pathetic. Like I've gotten better applause for winning a game on Quippers.
No.
Yeah, I've said it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The only thing that communists are any good at is getting out of doing work.
That's true.
What's the caption contest?
Let's see. Please pay attention to me. I demand your attention.
Boop, boop, boop,
Uh,
boop, boop,
Hunger
boop,
ended
boop,
by
boop,
the
boop,
dinner
boop,
bell.
boop.
Let's see.
Hey.
This water tastes like that kid's piss.
Make sure you send your best.
AOC said if I make 12 hours, she'll touch my butt. The American Gandhi. Yay for free government phones. And for my next trick, I will speak out of my ass while drinking water. All right, 8 hours, folks. We showed that Gandhi bitch who their daddy is. Noble lowers himself to not have every need met instantly like the peasants he rules. We all know that's not tap water. Throw away those McDonald's wrappers. I don't want them to see that. Hunger strike ended by the dinner bell. Let's see. The hardest trick I've done awake. 8 whole hours. I almost died. Let's see.
I won't lie to you. They're not super inspiring today.
No, I'm thinking the same thing.
I starved for 8 hours and all I got was this cheap photo op.
Yeah, you all suck.
Hunger strike? No, I'm waiting for Hunter to bring the meth.
I'm at the point. I'm going to vote for Cognizant Glug Glug. There you go.
Yes.
8 hours, I just burned off breakfast calories. How to stop political lies. Yeah, give it a few more seconds. New squad requirements for joining.
How about we just vote for lame?
Mm.
All right, I think I'll cut it off there. I don't know. I think Mr. Dex's was pretty good. And for my next trick, I will speak out my ass while drinking water.
Okay. What's the one I saw that was the sleep strike one?
The what?
There's something about going on a sleep, like going 8 hours. There it is, Mr. Dax. Just wait until I go on sleep strike for 8 hours.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That one's okay.
Yeah, I think I like that one.
Yay, winner.
I'll
Or,
vote for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Or all right, 8
Yeah,
hours.
worst insurrection ever.
All right, 8 hours, folks. We showed that Gandhi bitch who their daddy is.
I
Yeah,
like that one
bad.
too.
yeah, that's not bad at all.
All right, so what are you guys voting for, Jack?
I'll vote for the one that Terry mentioned about sleep strike.
All right, Adam.
Yeah, I'd have to go with the sleep strike.
Yep.
Okay.
Ditto.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the one who suggested the sleep strike to begin with. So yeah, I'm voting for it.
All right.
He is indeed leading the way.
Tier feels robbed, everyone.
Yeah.
Prospero.
Ditto.
Okay. So
Good tries. There were some valiant efforts.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with it too. So looks like Dax wins this week.
Yay,
That's-
Dax.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curb
Yay.
Enthusiasm theme plays again.
All right. Copy that down to tweet out later. All right. So our next article is actually the last article because it's long,
Oh God, no, really?
but it's dumb and crazy enough that I wanted to do it.
So
So,
does that mean we're skipping the gender edition, or are we still going to do that at the end?
Oh hell no, we're not skipping that. Like
Okay,
I
good.
think like halfway through I'll break for that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stop at that part. Okay. So you know what's great, guys, is the Utopia.
I've
Uh-oh.
heard
But-
good things.
But there's just one thing that's just stopping us from getting there. And
Not
we
enough dead bodies.
it could easily be fixed. So we must abolish the family.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There it is.
That's got to happen if you want communism to take over. That's why they're working so hard to destroy the nuclear family.
Yeah.
Humanity's most ambitious leap towards a just world. It's fascinating, isn't it? Whenever we look around, we can't help but notice the wonders that humanity was capable of creating. Vast cities, booming cultures, imposing skyscrapers, and lightning-fast information networks are all part of what we now so eagerly call the mundane.
That reminds me of the Douglas Adams quote, where he's saying humans think they're the smartest animal alive because they invented all this stuff, whereas the dolphins just like swam around in the water playing all their lives, and the dolphins think they're the smartest creature for exactly the same reason.
Yet this grandeur is not all there is to it. Despite our attempts to present ourselves as the higher animals, the wonders of life, there's a lingering primitive drive behind our actions.
Let's be honest. Adam definitely is one of the highest animals.
We still cling to those aspects that are embedded into our genetic code, those that were critical to the survival of our ancestors, but which no longer apply today. The right
So
to
wait, are you suggesting that the things within our genetic code we can just safely ignore?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we don't need them anymore.
Mm.
The right to reproduce and to raise children in a family was a necessary reality of the past. But behind the primitive, instinctual drive to do as our genes command, we know that the family has no place in the contemporary world.
I know for a fact that Prospero is boiling behind her muted microphone right now.
Let's see. The right to I read that part. Childhood trauma, abandonment, abuse, poverty, lack of opportunities, lack of education, and lack of respect for the Constitution of humanity itself. That there's a
The Constitution of Humanity. Who signed that?
But when did we get that?
Yeah.
All right. Should have prompted us to say no more. In this article, I will share my views on why the abolition of the family is not only a tempting possibility, but rather the logical next step in creating a just society.
Oh, please lay your logic upon us. I'm sure that there will be many references. I'm sure there will be many citations. I'm sure there will be much evidence.
You want to know something ironic? Faithless in chat says Poe, too ridiculous to be serious, and I don't have enough faith in the author to believe that it's a Poe.
No, I don't think so. Part 1, The Social Trilemma. While exploring the concept of equal opportunity, James Fishkin identified what we will call a trilemma of social values. He mentioned 3 aspects that are desirable in a modern liberal world, but which can never exist at the same time. Fishkin's elements of liberal justice are the principle of merit, equal life chances, and autonomy of the family. The trilemma essentially says that applying any 2 of these elements together will rule out the third.
Get rid of equal life chances.
It's autonomy of the family and equal life chances point towards affirmative action for correcting course, which rules out meritocracy. Merit and autonomy lead to disproportionate life starts for future children, crumbling the
I'm okay
principle
with that.
of equal life chances. And ultimately, merit and equality of opportunity are incompatible with the family. However, notice that out of these 3 elements, only 2 are morally charged, at least in the conventional sense. Equal life chances are desirable because any discrepancies would have unmerited negative or positive consequences
Incorrect.
on well-being.
I think that sounds terrible. I think the only way to do equal life chances is, essentially communism, and that does not. That's sort of like the meme where instead of giving everyone the boxes to look over the fence, they just chop off everyone's legs so they're the same height as the short kid. So yeah,
Yeah, and everybody's equal.
yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, everyone's equal beneath the ground.
Mm.
Merit is desirable because we generally want to be judged, rewarded, and punished in accordance with our behaviors and actions.
But
the
human
fa-
beings are not equal, and that's a problem.
Well, I mean, all animals are equal. It's just some animals are more equal than others.
Yeah. Oh man, Moon's not here and Garrett Hedlund shows up.
Oh,
The-
what a
these
wasted
peop-
opportunity.
These people, they can't get over the idea that it's okay if I'm better at one thing than they are. They are infuriated by that. And I'm going to take a stab and say it's because they're not good at anything.
I'd say that's a fair assumption.
Yep.
But the family, the idea of individual, private child raising has no moral cargo, other than the
I think it has
Sorry.
an extremely positive one.
other than the satisfaction of our
No
perverted primitive instincts.
Wow.
Aside,
What?
I swear to God, I'm beginning to blame Richard Dawkins for all of this.
Yeah.
aside from this, as shown by the trilemma, it is the factor that kickstarts the very idea of inequality in our world.
God's sake.
Of course, Fishkin was referring to this as an obstacle only when it comes to liberal democracy. But I think that our animalistic approach to child raising goes even further. I think that no social organization that maintains the family as the prime driving factor for reproduction will ever achieve any semblance of social justice.
Did,
Damn.
Did they miss the part where we're animals?
No,
I
but that, we don't want to be primitive and have families.
Yeah.
I have a theory based upon how easy it is to argue against someone's ideas, based upon how wrong they are. And there's an inflection point wherein a person's ideas become so stupid that it becomes difficult to argue against them because they are so stupid.
Mm-hmm. Takes too much time.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not just that it's too much time, it's that their entire premise is so incredibly flawed that it's like they're arguing that the sky is green.
Yeah, well, it's like they.
How do I
also-
argue against that?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't.
It's like, no, little retard, Helen Keller was not the best Power Ranger. It's,
Well, yeah, that's basically kind of the. It's tragic, actually.
it's,
I mean,
Um,
it's tragic.
any semblance of social justice. This pertains to multiple factors, including economic, cultural, and psychological aspects. I will do my best to explore them in the next segments of this article. Part 2, Economic Dependency.
Oh, dear God.
The first element to discuss here is the one most obvious to us right now, economic dependency. Since their birth, children depend on their parents to care for them, provide for their needs, and prepare their future education and livelihood to the best of their abilities. Obviously, to say that this model could allow for a semblance of proper equality would be to say that families across the world can be equal in the opportunities that they offer, which of course is far from the truth. In an organic manner, it would be impossible to guard against inequality, especially because economic advantages and disadvantages tend to compound across generations. But even aside
Do
from
they? Do they? Are you gonna cite any evidence of that?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's his truth. It's his truth, Jack.
Because this whole thing is like the whole reason that that someone like this would feel comfortable still bringing up slavery is because, oh well, that gives to me over multiple generations. Does it though? Does it really? Because that has never been successfully argued as far as I can tell.
That's But even aside from that, a period of better job security, one of paycheck to paycheck living, or one of temporary yet sensible poverty could be huge differentiating factors for children. To this, solutions could be found. A public fund that would provide for the child's immediate needs, a voucher for college, and a network of resources available to all would do plenty to cushion the blow of inequality in the family context. But of course it's not enough to build a good case for the family. Nobody can stop rich parents from wanting the best for their children, those bastards.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
From funding a private school, from setting up opportunities to go abroad, and from giving them an overall better experience than their peers. It's just the old commie thing. They don't want to bring up poor people, they just want to bring down rich people.
Yep.
Of course. Well, I mean, it's a lot easier to do that. Like, raising up the poor is very difficult. Just destroying the wealthy, yeah, I mean, that's easy.
And people do not consider the possibility that maybe the reason you're rich is in part to do with, frankly speaking, superior genetics. Maybe the reason you're rich is because you have intelligence that has been given to you over multiple generations that has allowed you to earn the living that would support your family.
As someone who has enough money to not work, I will take the compliment.
Well, I'm not saying that's universally true or anything like that, but people pretend as though getting money falls out of clear blue sky to the stupidest portion of our population.
No, I know.
Which is just total bullshit as far as I can tell.
Of course. You need intelligence or, some way of making money. It doesn't just, it isn't bestowed from the heavens. But I just thought it was funny. It's like, you know what? I'll take it. I'm super smart. Thanks, Jack.
No, that's not what he meant, Terry. You're still dumb. In addition, the other two aspects mentioned above, cultural and psychological factors, play a much bigger role in the development of children into fully functioning people, and they cannot be done away with by economic means.
Okay, then what's the problem?
I'll do the next part, and then we'll go on to Poe or No.
Okay.
All right. Part 3, cultural assimilation. Culture in and of itself is a defining trait of humans. We organize the things we love to talk about, stuff that we like to watch and listen to, and the customs that we care for in this abstract sphere that we name culture.
Here's why we need to destroy all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
While culture is a manifestation of a group of society, it can also bear many negative aspects. Predispositions to misinformation, religious ideas, political coloring, and patriarchal tendencies all are part of the culture that is being assimilated by the children from the parents.
It's funny because all of the wrong things that ever happen in society are exclusively the things you disagree with. There is no room for personal opinion in any of this. Either it agrees with you or it's objectively wrong.
Yeah, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
What an amazing coincidence.
It reminds me of it reminds me of the Norm Macdonald quote. I read a history book, and guess what? The good guys always won.
This cultural transition, of course, is a sample of our state as a society. But such problems are abstract and complex for us are complex enough for us to consider properly solving them for all people across 1 or 2 generations as simply implausible. But the family is the cord
People
that
starve them all to death. Then
But-
no problems.
But the family is the cord that transmits this information from one generation to the next. Many tendencies such as homophobia, xenophobia, bullying, gender roles, and many others are part of this cultural transfer that happens during the most important years in a child's development.
Those are all good things.
By reorganizing the family into a different institution of child raising, the cord between the current generation and the next is cut clean. It reveals the opportunity to present the children with more choices, more liberty in thought, and a better chance for harmonious development. Lastly,
How much arrogance would you have to think that your way that you just came up with your feminist studies degree is better than the way that humanity's been doing it for the last 100,000 years?
Well, this is just because your daddy went out for a pack of cigarettes because your mom was a creepy Harridan just like you are.
this isn't just I could raise your kid better. This is I could raise everyone's kid better.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what Jordan Peterson was saying. He's saying, like, if you think communism just hasn't been done right before, you're saying that you're uniquely talented enough to make it work. Out of everyone that's ever tried, you're better than all of them. And he's like, and even if you are, what happens when someone else takes power? It's like,
Yeah, you end up being shot,
I mean, Jesus Christ, this person quit Twitter 3 times this past month, and they think that they're capable of running other people's lives?
exactly.
They can't help their anxiety disorders, Jack.
It reveals the opportunity to present the children with more choices, more liberty in thought, and a better chance for harmonious development. Lastly, it offers us, as a society, an opportunity to immensely reduce phenomena that plague our society right now.
Of course.
Like white people.
Like what? Name them.
More
Name
often
them.
than
Like personal responsibility. Is that the one that's chapping your ass? Mom make you unload the dishwasher or something, sugar?
no, the only thing kids learn from families are the bad things, like homophobia and racism and stuff. They
Yeah,
don't
that
learn
was a constant drumbeat of my childhood. Yeah, it was just constant. I swear to God, I'd come to the table and it would be like, okay, don't have anything to do with slew of racist slurs and don't have anything to do with slew of homophobic slurs. That's exactly. And that was when we were praying over our food.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Fucking
Okay.
idiot.
More often than not, the people who actively want to harm others due to differences and opinions do so because they were taught in this sense, not because they really want to. But it is impossible to annul opinions and ideas after they are already formed. It goes against the autonomy of the individual. One principle of political philosophy that we must maintain as sacred. But making the switch away from the family unit is a way to inspire liberty in thinking, while also not harming anyone's autonomy.
While achieving our communist paradise where autonomy means nothing, comrade.
And I want you to keep in mind that part, while also not harming anyone's autonomy.
Yeah, face wall, please. But my autonomy, face wall harder, please.
Yet although it is such a big topic, culture too falls in second place when it comes to the most harmful behaviors perpetrated by families. Alright, and we'll continue on after our final game of the night, which is Porno Gender Edition.
Dun dun dun.
This is the game where I give you 3 genders, 2 of which are from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're 100% real, and 1 of them I made up, and you have to figure out which one is made up. And I'll even...
You know what would be an interesting
I
substitute?
thought all 3 of
for
them
this
could be
game?
real, though.
You know, be an interesting substitute for this game is if you asked an AI to write Alexander. No, sorry, not. If you asked an AI to write Edgar Allan Poe poems and then match them up against real ones and see if we could tell which one was the fake.
Oh.
Yeah,
It
but
would be
you're
nice
the,
if they could write Alexander Solzhenitsyn's Good Luck Archipelago, too.
yeah, but you're the poetry nerd, so you'd have an advantage.
Yes, I would. So suck it, bitch.
That's why he wants the game.
The advantages of being a fag.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you, Terry.
Fag privilege.
Yep.
All right. And I'll even give you a short description of each one. All right, so gender A, 80s choric.
Yeah.
Oh, this
You
got
really like Bon Jovi.
Gender related to the aesthetic of the 80s, including music, clothes, and media.
I have no doubt this one's real. This one's got to be real.
No doubt, I get it.
It's
Yeah, that was 90s.
yeah.
All right, gender B, gender coining gender. Xenogender related to coining genders.
Whoa, shit. What?
All right.
Soul
That's
evacuating
metal.
body.
Yes.
And gender C, danger zone gender. Xenogender related to the movie Top Gun, the song Danger Zone, or thrill seeking in general.
Oh my god.
All right, and I'll start a poll for the chat, and don't forget one of the options is that they're all real.
Thank you. You didn't mention that earlier.
Jesus H. Christ.
I know. He's left the building, Jack.
I think they are all real.
Yeah.
You have no power here.
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm beginning to think they're all real too, because this is just amazingly horrifying.
All right, so
B
Jack,
would be the ultimate double bluff, wouldn't it?
Yeah, based mom though, remember? She went to that conference with her sister, the psychologist, where the smoking lesbians of color all had to gather into one group, and she said it's just a room full of borderline personality disorders. Was her
Wait.
sister's take.
They were smoking colors? How does that work?
No, smoking lesbians of color.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like they were lesbians of color who smoked, but the lesbians of color who didn't smoke, and then there were the people who couldn't tolerate dry cleaning, and then there were people that didn't like perfume, and it was just.
I have Googled
didn't
smoking
tolerate.
lesbians so many times.
Yes, but not that kind of smoking.
I'm going to say that it's B, in the hopes that it's an amazing double bluff.
All right,
Yeah,
Jeff's
one
going with
would
B.
pray.
Adam?
I said all, right?
All real,
Just
yeah.
all real? All right,
Yeah.
Terry?
I'll go with the Top Gun one. C.
All right. Prospero?
I refuse to answer on the grounds which would incriminate me.
No, you have to answer.
Okay, they're
it's
all
in the
real.
it's in the contract you signed.
Okay, they're fine.
Yeah.
I didn't sign any
I'm pretty
contract,
sure.
motherfucker.
I'm pretty sure that this very game violates the Geneva Convention, Frosted.
Yes, I think it does.
All right. Let's see. The chat is going all
Eighth
real
Amendment
with B.
for sure.
The chat is going all real with B in second. Oh, Sun came back just for the game. She says all real. Let's see. So give it a few more seconds. And we're actually doing pretty good on the likes. We got 31 with 33 viewers.
I've got 32.
Yeah, I see 32 as well.
Oh, and
Same
Braniel's here.
Hey, Braniel.
All right, everyone's voted, so you can give your guess, Braniel.
Okay, Braniel says they're all fake. I just assume that he's had a few by now.
All right, so
And honestly, I don't blame him.
Oh, Jesus, God! I wish I were drunk
well, he
so
says
badly.
he says he just got off work.
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 For the
Right.
love of God, he just got off work.
Yeah, I said that.
Mhm.
All right, so I'll end the poll there. Looks like the chat went with all real, with B at a close second.
Oh, God, I'm cold.
All right, and the answer is C is fake.
Aww.
See, I thought that was the most likely one, but then I didn't
I'm
want
so
to go
happy to
for
be
it because
wrong.
it was the most likely one.
I'm just delighted to be wrong. See, that's one thing about this game.
Hmm.
If you're wrong, it's just a pleasure.
I was pretty sure 80s Coric had to be quote
Yeah.
unquote real,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and B seemed too meta to be fake. So I was like, no, I think it's the top one.
80s Coric just sounds like somebody went out of their way to come up with something.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the flags for the real ones. Here we've got 80s Coric. Which at least had a little bit of effort in it.
Okay, fine.
All right, and here we have gender coining gender. Which kind of makes sense.
It does. It does. It's still stupid, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it, gender coining gender is my gender because I make up a new gender every week.
That's
Mhm.
true. So we know I'm 60 FPS plus gender. You're gender coining gender. I think through this stream, we're all finding our true identities.
Jack is muffin gender.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know, but that's such an overplayed joke by this point.
Nah.
Well, if you find one that's better.
Okay, I haven't found one that's better yet, but
There you go.
Royal Faggot is available.
That's true.
that is a pretty hilarious one.
Royal faggot, yes.
Yeah, that's one we had a
Yeah.
while ago.
I do
I
like
also like Shakespearean and Tolkien.
that. Shakespearean. Shakespearean though it scans brilliantly.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I remember one week I did like all author based ones. I had like
Yes.
Shakespearean, Tolkien, and I think it was like what, Poe Homo or something. I don't know.
I can't remember what the third one was.
Oh my God.
Well, it's sometimes it's hard coming up with one that's as stupid as the real ones.
That's true.
Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Frosted just on occasion will just start looking around his room for like random objects.
Yes.
Keyboard gender.
Yes.
Well,
That'll do it.
And then he has to go to the gender wiki and find out that, God damn it, it's real.
There is
the-
a keyboard gender.
the funny part is that Jack is right, because I was looking around my room, I saw a model jet that I had, and I thought
Oh,
of Top
cool.
Gun.
Oh God, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
And this we're good.
Well, you could have the QWERTY gender.
Well, we had font gender recently.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, there is a best font though. That's the problem.
Maybe
Oh
that's
God,
Jack's
what's yours?
font.
Times New Roman?
No.
Jack is autistic about fonts. That might be his gender.
Okay, what is your favorite font?
Cambria.
Okay.
Oh, it's the best one. Why? What do you think is the best font?
Wingdings.
Yes. I also remember Hot Dog Stand for the for your background.
I am also partial to Webdings. They are both excellent fonts.
Yes.
No.
But yeah,
Yeah.
well,
And
if you're not
nobody
being
better say
clever about
cunt.
it, though.
If you're not being clever about it.
Yeah. And
What is your most retarded opinion? Is what Jack is basically asking for.
and
Wait, what?
Cognis, I've thought of doing the Stormfront or anti-racist thing again before, but that one's kind of hard because it's I got to search through a ton of things and find ones that aren't obviously one or the other.
Yeah,
Plus, I think
Okay,
this one's more funny. I think.
I agree.
I've never heard of the hot dog font before now, but looking at it, it's actually pretty cool.
Plus, the thing
You
with
would
the
think
the thing with the Stormfront or anti-racist, it's like we're making the same point. Of, like, yeah, we know that there's not as much novelty there. It's like, okay, let's see which which ridiculously offensive statement was said by which group. Here we can at least say, okay, that's retarded. That's such a stupid gender kind of thing.
Although we have to thank it for giving us Alabaster Savages, it's
True.
still not as good. All right. So back to our final article. Part 4.
Oh.
Psychological harm. Parenting is a craft that few actual parents can pull off. Before being capable of properly raising a child, you need to be aware of all the things that can go wrong, what emotional needs your child has, how to blend them with your personal needs, and most importantly, how to not inflict any psychological harm on the child while doing this. The problem, however, is that most parents out there have no idea how to do this. In spite of the massive availability of information, many either don't bother reading through them or make mistakes in applying them properly. This is not ought to be held against the parent. After all, they are doing the best job they can, given their personal circumstances. But putting this burden onto a person who is also expected to work and manage the finances, an entire relationship, and a personal life along with it is our mistake. We transform the role of the parent into a massive psychological burden, one that we collectively have decided to be imperative for each and every person. This got us to the situation of today, in which this pressure pushes so many parents to become neglectful, abusive, or manipulative with their children. The child, of course, carries most of this trauma into adulthood, and undoing the harm created in those early years is work that few people are willing to actually go through. Psychological harm is a form of disease that never really goes away, and it is responsible for a lot of dysfunctionality that surrounds us today.
Yeah, their dad left.
To solve this within the family context is such a massive ask from society as a whole that it borders impossibility more than any other. But dissolving the family structure gives us more liberty to approach this issue, as all others, with a better chance of doing the right thing. This, I think, is the massive step that humanity is too afraid to take, but which ultimately will constitute our largest leap towards a just society. A great leap forward, if you will.
Oh,
That's never been tried.
that's. I love it when they say shit like that. I really do.
He didn't say that. I said it, but
Oh,
but I mean
sorry.
that's pretty much what he's saying. A large leap towards a just society.
Uh-huh. I mean, I could see somebody being ignorant enough to say a great leap forward, if you will.
Let's see. Part 5. Different approaches to family. Let's see. While a critique of the family was the primary goal of this article, I feel compelled to also explore some alternatives to the traditional structure. The role of these is by no means definitive, but rather to give you an idea of what can be done outside the family unit. One idea is the restriction of reproductive rights only to those qualified to raise children. I'll just call back to the part earlier where you still have autonomy. under the system, but you're no longer allowed to have children. Such a qualification could be in the realm of psychological education and cultural and thought liberty, and can be complemented by financial assistance from public funds, college vouchers, and a support network for the child that could be available to all. This is the most conservative approach to this discussion, and perhaps one of the best we have in terms of feasibility. So, basically, do you have a license to have that baby?
Mm-hmm.
The second option is the extended family model explored in Aldous Huxley's The Island. In Huxley's view, a utopian approach to child raising makes use of a network of parents that are available to house, support, and care for a child at any given time. Yeah, that can't go wrong, having a ton of people all watching over this kid.
No, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, none of them will be like pedophiles or something.
0.
Yeah. In short, the child is not bound to a single family, but rather has multiple families with multiple perspectives that can care for them. This variant makes use of human diversity as an antidote to the aforementioned problems, playing on the strength in numbers and different contexts to inspire liberty in thought, and it minimizes the potential for abuse and harm from a single family. Instead, they can get abuse and harm from multiple families.
Perfect.
Yeah. The model is explored in depth in the book, and I wholeheartedly recommend giving it a read. It presents many more interesting concepts aside from family organization. Lastly, the most unconventional model would be that of communal child raising, where the biological parents and the caretakers would be different people. Rather, caretakers would be people specialized in child raising, doing this as a
So
full-time
the baby gets confiscated at birth and given to someone else.
You have official licensed parents.
I see no flaws with this plan.
Yeah. Rather, caretakers would be people specialized in child raising, doing this as a full-time activity with close monitoring of their activities and performance. You know that foster homes are a thing, right? And orphanages? Kids are always fine there, right?
Nothing bad has ever happened to any kid in any orphanage. Not once.
Aside from this, children would be raised in communal contexts, along with other children who they can spend time with, and the public funds destined to build equal opportunities for them would take care of the financial aspect. Whichever model is to be chosen, be it among the three above or a completely different approach, is, in my view, the solution to many of the injustices of the world right now. I also like that he thinks parents would be willing to just give up their child when it's born.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so some of them might, but I think overwhelmingly there's a bit of a connection between parent and child.
Peculiarly, yes, there is.
Yeah.
No, it's just this thing is kind of cute, but I'm bored with it. You can have it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious. This strategy of trying to breed human behavior out of humanity completely, has this ever been tried before in history?
A little bit.
Not the real kind.
Just wondering.
The real kind has never been tried.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't cranked the body count up high enough to satisfy this twat.
Final thoughts.
Takes a village to raise an idiot.
A radical approach to making changes in society is not always the best idea. However, when it comes to outdated...
Hey, Skippy, where'd you hear that?
However, when it comes to outdated and everlasting concepts, going the full length is probably the only way. Yeah, we need to make a sudden and massive change to society. That never goes wrong.
Maybe the author needs a full length inside of him. Maybe that's the whole problem.
No, for the love of God, no.
I'm guessing he already has.
Oh, okay.
Slavery required radical action. Monarchy required radical action. And climate change, which becomes more and more tangible in our day-to-day lives, requires radical action.
Does this moron realize that slavery and monarchy still exist?
But even like more, there's like the whole climate change thing. I've heard that we're all going to be underwater by like 2020, so be careful of that.
I know. I drowned 3 years ago.
We're all dead, really.
Yeah,
We're if you're watching this right now, we're ghosts communicating to you through the afterlife.
Mhm.
And also slavery, like, just, over time just became obsolete.
Cling to your family and your guns with your dear life. That's my message.
Also, the shadows on the wall aren't real; they're just projections using a fire, and you're in a cave, and there's like an outside and shit.
Yeah, it's all your imagination.
Did you invent the
Jesus
plate?
yeah.
That's a multi-layered joke.
Christ.
If humanity can surpass its egoistic and primitive
No, you were
perspective...
supposed to say, "Oh, did you invent the plate?"
If humanity can surpass its egoistic and primitive perspective on children, if we can collectively accept that children are not ours, but rather their own persons, who deserve their own opportunities in life, then we can make this leap. And this leap will be the best thing that's ever happened to us. But
They keep saying leap. God damn it.
But as with most sensible subjects, not everyone is ready for this discussion. Not everyone is ready to accept that this model simply produces more failure than well-being. And not everyone is... I'm guessing they're talking about our current system.
I
Yeah,
think
not
they're
the one
talking about their
proposing.
current life. I mean, this is such incredible. My experience writ large. I'm sorry your parents sucked or you're just useless or whatever.
I'll tell you what, I'll take the author's opinion more seriously when they can calculate a tip without a smartphone.
Yeah.
That's
Well, those gazindas are hard, Jack, especially that part about coming up with 10% and doubling it or adding half again to it. That's really
doubling it. All right, Rockefeller.
No, I'm just saying if you're doing 10 or 15
Wait,
or
how
20.
much do you tip Frosted?
15% is the norm.
Okay, you cheap fuck.
Bastard.
I
15
think I
is
have a
fine.
solution.
Well, hold on.
have-
How much do you tip,
I have a way
Jack?
to make everyone equal. You just make mandatory abortions for every single pregnancy, and within like a few decades, we'll all be equal.
I think that I believe in mandatory abortions for anyone who would preach abortion. And
That
then
might work.
the problem will resolve itself completely.
Mandatory
Only the-
abortions for anyone who doesn't appreciate Bon Jovi.
I'm sorry, but I've already been born, Frosted.
No, there's post-birth abortion. Just remember.
There's postnatal abortion these days.
But we can send you to Canada.
There's
Yeah.
there was that South Park episode where 40th trimester abortions.
Yeah.
They'll
Yes.
give you close to death abortions.
It's called the Ralph Northam.
Yeah,
effect. You
exactly.
remember that? You just take the baby into a room and then decisions are made. Yeah, it works.
Let's see. And not everyone is ready to give up their biological prerogatives to reproduce for the sake of new generations.
This person must never have watched Star Trek either. I mean, like the original series.
I love how this is like the best proof that, like, communism, the problem is that it doesn't take actual humans into account.
No.
Because it depends on humans not acting like humans.
Well, that's because, like they said, the animalistic unit, it's a failure to recognize that humans are animals, that we're hierarchical, and that our impulses push us in that direction.
But
Interestingly enough, communism even turned out to be hierarchical. How peculiar is that?
yeah, like they expect people to work without, wanting, more pay and all that stuff. Parents are just going to give up their babies willingly with no problem.
Yeah,
Also,
humans have no feelings. We're machines, you know.
you're going to work for no possibility of any sort of significant reward ever in your entire life, and you're going to produce the best results ever that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You'll be motivated by the knowledge that the lazy bum down the road is getting the profits of your hard work. That should encourage everybody.
yeah. And also, we'll have machines doing everything, and everyone else can just like paint and do art.
And do art.
Yeah,
I love how
you know
I
what's so cool about that though is that maybe if we ever reach post scarcity, that is the direction that you move
Yeah.
toward.
Yeah,
But these same people flip their shit if you talk about GMOs.
I think
you know what has a history of really avoiding scarcity is communist nations.
Yes, they never have it.
you know what the funniest part of all is that these commies are like, I'm so creative, that's what's gonna keep me relevant after and then AI comes along and does a better job than they could ever hope of doing.
Yes.
That they'll
Yeah,
And
never.
so they thought they were going to be the last people to get phased out, and they're going to be the first people to get phased out.
Yeah.
Well, look at
They can just
Hollywood
learn
right
to code.
now. Look at Hollywood right now. I mean,
They
they're
can just learn to
losing their,
code. It's that easy.
their
Yeah,
shit over AI, and it's
because guess what, comrade? The state doesn't need painters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the fact is that if you're a good writer, AI won't replace you, because AI doesn't create novel things; it creates an average of things that exist already.
absolutely.
So I mean, obviously that's an oversimplification.
But your shit will
but
be added to that database, and
Yeah.
eventually
Yes.
it will become a singularity. That's
But
that's the issue with AI. Remember Jordan Peterson?
It's
Sorry.
like V says, AI can't write a better version of Lord of the Rings, but it can write a better version of Rings of Power.
Yes.
Yeah, because
It-
that's what current like normal human writing is nowadays. It's just an amalgamation of things that have come before.
Well,
Yeah.
generally
Exactly.
speaking, yeah, we build on the metaphors and the similes that were written by others. I mean, that's why we say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
but,
yeah,
but the fact
Well, I'm not talking about like just taking inspiration or something. I'm just talking about like copying, going with lazy ideas. The shit that
Well,
modern
yes.
writers are doing.
yeah.
Well, but a lot of, I mean, early on when you're learning to write, a lot of it is, citation and derivative. And has there really been an individual, idea, or has it been thought of before? The nature of creativity is kind of a difficult one to explore, because there are circumstances where two people do have the same idea at the same time.
But they can also have the same idea done totally differently.
Well,
and
yes.
produce something totally unique in both cases.
Well, yes. And I mean, it's like, how do you look at El Greco's paintings? And how do you look at a contemporary of his? I mean, he had astigmatism, clearly. So there's a very, very unique style to his painting. Because he was astigmatic.
I don't care what religion he was. If he's a good painter. All right.
Yeah, for somebody with pretty significant visual distortion, he was.
All right. Still, willful ignorance is not a solution either. Perhaps the family can be worked around, can be improved, or we can find new ways to tackle our issues. One thing is clear. The family structure of today simply doesn't work. Coming to accept this is already 80% of the work done.
I hope they've sterilized themselves.
Well, there we go. The key to utopia. We just need to issue licenses to reproduce, or have official state child raisers, and you never see your kid after they're born.
Yeah,
Sounds perfect.
doesn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, look at this happy family. Can you deny this photo by Hoi An photographer on Unsplash?
Wait, it was done by a photographer and not Getty Images?
Wait, there's one response. I want to see if it's just... No, I love my children, and nobody could be more dedicated to their well-being. Kind I am.
So a bigot.
Okay.
Obviously.
And the author responded, I completely trust that this is the case for you. Why? Why do you trust this person and not every other person in the world?
Because
However-
they wrote on his article, so that makes them good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're one of the good ones. However,
If
however, few other children in the world can consider themselves as lucky. It ultimately boils down to probability, and the odds are against this being the general case and not the exception. I hope that you understand my point of view.
so
Wow.
so you're going to say that people don't have the right to raise their kids because I assume some of them are good people.
Yeah.
Most parents are abusive, which I'm just pulling out of my ass.
Yep.
Most parents are abusive. I don't have any evidence of this, but because most parents are abusive, you're abusive.
Most
Or
parents
at
are
least
abusive.
we're going to treat you that way.
Most parents are abusive, and government child caretakers will never be.
Yeah,
Well, no,
I was
I
abused,
think,
therefore everyone was abused.
Yeah, I was going to say, you say without evidence, but I think you've got a sample size of 2 parents that did shitty jobs, and they're just using that as the basis of their claim.
And I love the little backhanded, I hope that you understand my point of view. Just basically
No.
saying,
Yeah.
like, you're retarded.
This person is like class A pretentious sack of shit. Like sanctimonious, better than thou kind of bullshit.
Or possibly insane.
And this article got 141 claps.
Oh, that's really cool.
This article gave me the clap, Frosted.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm afraid I'll have to take away your reproduction license.
Ah.
No penicillin for you.
Yeah, let's be honest. It wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Well, maybe in a tube sock. I don't know.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. I almost said something worse than that. Thank you, Frosted.
All right. Well, that's all I have for tonight, gentlemen, and
Thank you,
Prospero.
Jesus.
Except for our special bonus article. Thanks.
No. Okay.
Elon-
I'm having
Elon
internet
Musk, the
problems.
world's richest man.
Yeah, I and why we hate him.
And now, about grocery shopping while autistic.
Yeah.
Man, I had no idea that article was going to piss everybody off so much.
It pissed off Terry the most, which is surprising.
Grocery shopping while autistic.
Yeah. Well, it's you never suffered as much as a autistic person who goes grocery shopping.
God, Sanguine does a lot of cooking for someone who should be suffering. So, that's right. He's Asperger's, which they magically removed from the
Hey.
category, even
Come
though
on.
he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and I also figured out Sanguine is basically the passive-aggressive version of Gordon Ramsay.
Well, speaking of Sanguine, you can check us out hanging out on the Minions of the Zoo.
In about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and me and him are going to be chit-chatting out there, so.
All right,
Okay.
so
Please tell him I said hi. I miss him.
I'll
mean,
take a
you
moment
could.
to shill my co-hosts and guests, but somebody jumped the gun. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
So, not Jack Gunsky does Quippers United on his channel Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
No, not
Yeah.
Jack Gunsky doesn't do that. Jack Gunsky does that.
Good.
Yeah, when he can, when he feels like it, when he's not in New York,
Visiting family.
family. All right. Let's see. That's one of the things that we'll get rid of is excuses for Jack to miss the streams when we get rid of families. All right. Let's see. Adam, anything you want to shill?
Well,
I would love if he just says no.
well, I was gonna say you can hang out with Terry and I, and also good pal Kefki on Mondays.
On Minions of the Zoo.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the zoo.
Or you can find Terry on Wednesdays at Minions of the Zoo.
Uh-huh.
Well, he can say that.
Everybody, wait your turn to be shilled. Damn it.
Yeah, just could you fucking end it?
All right. So Terry is on Crippers United. He's on Mr. Adams and Hammer's Minions Nights. He's on Johnny Hellcat streams. He's on Six of Sober streams. He's on Tears Midnight streams. He's on every stream known to man.
Yeah.
Terry is AI.
Just turn on
Yeah.
YouTube and he's there.
That's actually why T calls me Terrybot. He says I'm an AI as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Prospero, anything you want to show?
You can find me Tuesday nights on Minions of the Zoo. Sometimes Saturday, mainly Tuesday. Otherwise, I'm over on Twitter.
All right. So we should be back next week at the normal time, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.